Boy, does Season 7 have a lot to offer. There's fugitive heads, there's occult gems, there's witch powers, there's the new headhunt zone, root holds. How do you manage all of it? I've broken it down to make this very simple plan. If you are feeling a little overwhelmed in this season, I got you. I'm going to share with you all the tips, tricks, and secrets that I've figured out over this last week of gameplay. We've got a lot to do, and we have a document that's going to break it all down for you. That's going to be in the description of this video. It's going to look just like this right here. We're going to start at the top so that you will know exactly what to do, where to go, and how to do it. Starting with number 1, complete the seasonal storyline from start to finish. I made this mistake in the beginning. If you're like me, I love getting straight to the end game. I want to get to my build and hit the pits running. Well, and I skipped the end of the storyline. I didn't unlock the final stages of it, and that was actually a very important part of it. In order to unlock the fugitive heads, which you're going to need to craft your occult gems, you have to complete the storyline. I was farming for hours and hours and hours, and I saw none. As soon as I went and I finished the storyline, that was when they started dropping. And then I haven't had a shortage since. I crafted 2 legendaries and a rare occult gem and have not ran out of fugitive heads yet. I'm going to share with you a couple ways of getting them later on in the video because I figured out a couple different things that I think is happening, and then I want you to let me know what you think too, because this is what I've found. Number 2, when you're all done, you're going to head to the headhunt zone. Where the headhunt zone, they're going to look like this right here. For anybody that's just hopping in right now, they're these green areas around the whole map. Those green areas are going to be filled with whispers, and whispers are going to play a huge part in this season and in this video. It's going to be something that we're going to keep on talking about and will be an integral part in how you approach this season. As you're going through and you're collecting your whispers inside of the zone, you're going to have this raven here. This was an incredibly huge help. The raven is going to be clearly marked on your map that you know exactly where to go. So once you've collected your whispers here and you have all 10 of them, there's going to be a purple mark that's going to show up inside of the zone when you're there. You go to that, you can turn it in. Problem solved. You don't have to constantly teleport back and forth to the Tree of Whispers. If this is your favorite hub right now, you can actually go through and you can see where it says favorite, click there, and now it's favorited. You can teleport here no matter what. Instead of going back to the nearest major city, now you will always be coming back to the Tree of Whispers. It's going to be a quick way to save yourself some time. If you're planning on doing whispers in something like Hell Tides or somewhere like that, you can just immediately teleport right back here the moment that you have a second to breathe without a monster attacking you. Number 4, as you start to unlock the whispers caches, and you start to open them up, you're going to start getting these drafts of whispers here. These are going to be super important, especially when you start farming dungeons. If you're just going to be speed farming whispers, I wouldn't suggest using this. I would suggest using these very specifically when you're going to be looking for fugitive heads or altars. Double the chances of encountering a forgotten altar in Sanctuary's many dungeons. Additionally, increase the chances of encountering fugitive heads by 50%. This effect lasts for 1 hour, and it can also be used alongside of your other potions. I would highly suggest if you're just going to be going through and doing whispers as fast as you can, don't pop this on. The reason I would suggest that, when we move down the list here, we're going to be searching for these forgotten altars here. The forgotten altars are going to unlock certain lost witch powers. They're going to be the ones down along the bottom here. That's where you're going to get your piranado. That's one of the favorites this season. It's a giant water tornado of piranhas. It pulls monsters into the tornado and then it seeks out other ones as it's going. So this is a really great one, but you can also level it up by finding these altars. While you're looking for them, you're going to pop your draft of whispers. From what I've seen and from talking to people that popped into the live stream, talking to people in Discord, what we've found is that the pits seem to have the highest drop rate for all of these forgotten altars. So if that's what you're going to be doing and you're planning on leveling up your glyphs and leveling up your paragon, speed farming the pits is actually the fastest way to level up your paragon. Pick whatever level that you can run the fastest and then just sprint through it. It's a great opportunity to find these. That's where you're going to have your draft whisper on. Another great way to do this is go inside of the root holds. Now you're going to get your root hold dungeons by opening up whisper caches, so you're going to have to keep on doing whispers in order to get more root holds. What root holds are going to do and what the benefit of it is, you'll get a lot of gear, a lot of materials, you'll be able to fight the head rotten, so you can get restless rot, which restless rot is going to be used for upgrading your witch powers. You just come right into the menu here, you have the restless rot here, you mouse over your witch power, and right here where it says upgrade witch power, you press that, and then it upgrades your witch power. You can find the restless rot inside of these root holds, and you can also fight the head rotten bosses. Head rotten bosses have a chance to drop fugitive heads. So if you're planning on farming for altars, restless rot, and fugitive heads, that is a great place to go. How you get into the root holds. You're going to open up your key here, so where dungeon keys are. You're going to find the root holds. They look just like this. When you pop it open, it's going to open up the root hold, and you can actually click on it and teleport to it, just like it's a regular dungeon. So the nightmare dungeons work exactly the same way. So the root holds will teleport you inside the dungeon, and you don't have to run there. So don't do that. When you're inside of these root hold dungeons, as you're going to be faced with all of these choices. You have 3 different kinds. You have your normal, your rare, and then your legendary. They're all going to give you different benefits. They will give you one thing that will hurt you, and then one thing that will give you benefit. So for example, here you're going to take some shadow damage, but you're also going to get one major reward from your roots. When we go and click on this one, this starts the dungeon here. We can also select a whole nother one. The root holds are going to either yield one more minor reward, or we get an additional exposed root. So after you click on those, that's going to take you right into the dungeon, and then you can just start running. So inside these dungeons, you're going to fight your head rotten. That's all of these right here. They have a whole bunch of loot inside of these dungeons, and your goal is to find your root holds. So if you look on the side here, we have 4 root holds missing. They're right here on the ground. You click on the root holds. That's going to give you an explosion of loot. They're all over the place. And once you have completed all of the objectives through here, then you're going to fight your boss. When you get through the boss, that's where you're going to get your chance for a fugitive head. So as you work through this, try to pick the best options that you can handle. As you can see here, I just popped open one of the root holds inside of one of these dungeons, and we got a draft of whispers. You can find them inside, so you can keep on using those as you level up through the restless rot. You got tons of it in here. Keep those propped as soon as you go into the boss. So we're going to be going into the boss here. We're going to pop one of our draft of whispers. We're going to go fight this boss. Now you can tell if you're going to get a fugitive head by the name of the boss. The boss is going to say one of 2 things. It's going to say headless husk, or it's going to say something like a fugitive head. So hopefully this is what we're going to get right here. Once the boss spawns, we have a headless husk, so we know that we're not going to get a fugitive head for this one. But that's how you can tell as you're going through. Those are your root holds. They're going to be incredibly beneficial. We got a ton of rot. You get a bunch of chances in order to upgrade your lost powers. So it's going to be a really, really great farm this season. So make sure as you open up your whisper caches, you're looking for those root hold dungeon keys. So we've been talking a lot about fugitive heads. What the heck are they? You come over to Galena, and she's going to be here after you do the seasonal campaign. This is where you can craft your occult gems from the occult library. I have an occult gem right here that I've already crafted. These are actually very expensive. They did make it a lot easier. There was a hotfix that went out that increased the amount of restless rot that you drop. One thing that I did find when I was out looking for the fugitive heads, when I was inside of the new headhunt zones and the boss would spawn, if I clicked on the root and I was the one that spawned the bosses, it seemed that the chance of dropping a fugitive head was higher. Now, I don't know if that's because not everybody has completed the storyline, or if the game is just designed that way, that if you spawn the boss, then you have a higher chance of getting a fugitive head. That was just something that I noticed, and I wanted to see if everybody had the same exact experience as I did. When I was farming, I made sure I was trying to click on those root holds as fast as I could in order to get the bosses to spawn, because it seemed like my chances of getting those heads were a lot higher when it was me that clicked it and not somebody else that was running around. I did always go over to where I saw a boss spawn, because if it is a chance that somebody does get one, you want to make sure that you're there. So whenever you see them pop up on the map, it's going to look exactly like if you were at the Blood Maiden. You are going to see on your minimap some circles being moved in. Head over to the root hold, it's going to be bright orange. And that will be based on who has spawned it. So even if you have a draft of whispers on, it's still not going to increase the chances of finding those fugitive heads when somebody else has already spawned the boss. Restless Rot is only the half of it. If you come over here and you right-click on the mouse, it shows you the requirements. Now that is a lot of gem fragments, especially since the gem fragment drop rate has been lowered. For the top ones, the legendary ones, you look right here, 100,000 diamond fragments. I don't even have enough right now for those. So they do have a very, very steep requirement in order for those gem fragments. So that's going to make the grind a little bit longer. How do you solve that? Coming down here, gem fragments are going to be found in a couple different ways. As you're going through and you're opening up your whisper caches will have gem fragment caches in it. Those are going to be very important. If you see those absolutely take those because those are going to be the way that you're going to farm gem fragments. In the Whispers, you can also find dungeon key caches. Why those are important? Dungeon key caches also give you the option to give you the Infernal Horde keys. You get 3 per cache. They're actually better than the gem fragment caches. When you go inside the Infernal Hordes and you complete it, you can open up the materials chest. The materials chest gives you a boatload of all of the gem fragments. What I would suggest is I would not open up just the material chest. I would still open the material chest. Give yourself that chance at a guaranteed greater affix. You also are going to be getting the scrolls of restoration from those equipment chests. The equipment chest can reset your tempering. Very important, because if you brick something that's really good, you'll have one more chance in order to get those tempers redone in the correct way. If you're skipping that equipment chest completely, then you're not going to get these. So my suggestion is to open the equipment chest first, and then spend the rest of whatever you have, which sometimes can be quite a lot, on the materials chest. Running the Infernal Hordes with a group is absolutely 100% way better. There are a lot of really great solo runs out there. I'm not discounting that. But when you have a lot of people that can take a corner of the map, the amount of that you can get on a more consistent basis. Now, maybe you don't have a lot of friends in here. You don't know anybody that is playing the game. Well, there's 2 options for you. One, you can click the link for Discord at the top of the description of this video. You can join us. We have a lot of people that are playing Diablo 4. We have a great community. It's very new player friendly. The other option for you is to go to your social menu, and then you can find a party. If you wanted to search for the Infernal Hordes, you just click on the Infernal Hordes, and then you actually have parties available for you. So you can just find a party, or you can list your own party. It's really, really beneficial, especially if you're running low on keys. It's a great way to share the wealth, share the keys, and everybody can get into the Infernal Hordes together, get your gem fragments, and get your occult gems crafted. That's all I got for you. If there's something that you're doing that you find very helpful in the season, post it in the comments. I would love to hear from you. I'm live every night. Stop by, say hi, theory craft with me. Catch you on the clip side.